Welcome to the FemiNinja Project. I am your host, Cheryl I Love, middle-aged ninja hiding in plain sight, dedicated to restoring human dignity one person at a time and helping you unleash your personal power. Discover that it's possible to look like a woman, act like a lady, move like a ninja, and think like a warrior. And remember, men are always welcome on the FemiNinja Project. Welcome to another episode of the FemiNinja Project. And one of the things I love about the FemiNinja Project and doing these podcasts is that I get to introduce you to a lot of incredible women and men who have some fantastic and very impressive and inspiring stories to tell. And today's guest is a business owner, entrepreneur, and a very impressive young lady. Her name is Bailey, and I'm going to apologize in advance, Bailey Konieczka. Is that right?
That's very close, yeah.
Well, why don't you say it for us?
Konieczka.
Konieczka. Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful last name.
Thank you.
Like I said, our heritage, our backgrounds are fairly similar, so I should be able to say that, but I'll keep practicing. But Bailey, you are the owner of Bailey Katherine Interiors.
Yes. A holistic interior design company.
A holistic interior design company. That's interesting. What does that mean?
So, holistic interior design is very multidimensional. The first aspect of it is really the sustainable edge and being a little bit more conscious when we're sourcing our materials and furniture, all sides of it. So, it's like how the workers are being treated at the companies we're purchasing from, where they're getting the materials from, like where the wood is sourced from and that it's done in a sustainable manner, to just like their overall business ethics and being a little bit more conscious about the kind of companies that we're supporting. And through that, I really end up purchasing locally and from a lot of local makers and artisans a lot, which is amazing. The other side of holistic design is the spiritual aspect of it. So it's taking my clients through this really intentional spiritual process when we're choosing what our environments really entail. And so it's like being conscious about the symbolism that's going to be in the artwork that you look at every day and how that's influencing the way that you show up in your life and helping you and your family like get to your goals and stay grounded. It's beautiful. Even your mood, because I know, here we are in the FemiNinja Girl Cave, and I call it a little bit psychotic sometimes, but I'm surrounded by things that I really love and make me happy when I look at them. I've got my martial arts belts, I've got a little ballet slippers here, and a lot of other things. I've got some things, furniture from my grandparents that's down here, and my dad actually helped build out this area. He and my mom would come out every year, so it has a lot of special meaning for me. So when I need that. Exactly, and then when I need to get away from the rest of the family, I have a nice place to go. Yeah, sanctuary is so important. We all need that in our lives in some form or another, and space can provide a lot of healing and emotional comfort when we create it with that intention. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to go backwards. Okay, and we're going to start with 8-year-old Bailey. So tell us that story. So to put it into a bit of context, I was recently cleaning out my childhood bedroom and I found this notebook and I couldn't help but just laugh. It was so funny. Bailey's Dream Life is spelled out across the front with little magazine cutouts. Of all different styles and colors in the fonts. And throughout this notebook, there are pages of floor plans and mood boards, all depicting what I want my dream life at 8 years old to look like. So basically, you were doing vision boards before anybody else was even thinking about vision boards. It was definitely before before mood boards were really a thing.
Yeah, wow. So you were way ahead of the game.
Yeah, I guess so. It was just like so reassuring to find that and to really see that this is something that comes super naturally to me. And it's like the core of my being is to create in this way.
Tell us a little bit of your dream house for yourself, for Bailey, and what was included in the floor plans.
It was pretty funny. I'll have to show you at some point, but it's there's a full soccer field
in the house?
In the house, inside the house, there's a massive soccer field. There is like multiple closet spaces for a whole, like a shoe collection closet.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, honestly, looking at that now, I would still be completely content with that layout. My parents' bedroom, my sister, so it was like this big house that I wanted as a grown-up with apparently all of my family members that I lived with as a child.
Oh, that's so funny. And apparently you really have a thing for rearranging your own room, too.
I did. Yeah, that was something I found a lot of freedom in as a child, that I had this space that was really mine. And to be able to go in and move your bed around and clean the space and organize and freshen, it's like that's a very invigorating thing, especially for a young child, I think, to have something that it's complete ownership. And I think there's really something to being able, when things shift, the energy in the space really shifts, and that can like re-elevate, uplift you. The energy in a space is really powerful.
So I'm wondering how 8-year-old Bailey moved to bed.
Yeah, I would definitely like...
Did you do it yourself?
Get some grit in there and just like yank it across the floor. Not much has changed there.
Yeah, good for you. And you also would get some of your accessories from your sister's room?
Yeah. Yeah, we were always stealing things from each other. Clothes, accessories, I just had to like change it up and it had to feel new. So what better place to pull than from your sister's bedroom?
Well, I have 4 sisters, and there was no such thing as your own room.
Right.
But everything we shared, we had to, and it was just like everything was communal, unless it was certain clothing that you couldn't fit into. So what were you doing? Did you go to school for design, or?
I didn't. When I was in college, I took an interior design internship, and that's really when I discovered that this was something I was incredibly passionate about, and I wanted to make a career out of it. For some reason, I knew that I wasn't going to do it in a traditional sense, and I think at the beginning, I didn't really know what that looked like. It was just kind of this raw gut feeling that I was going to do it in my own way, and that there were parts of traditional design that didn't align with me, and I wanted like to make those changes.
Yeah, I can see you wanting to do things your own way. I love that kind of spirit. I love that grit in people. So when you graduated college, what year did you graduate?
2014.
But you didn't go into your design right away?
No, not right away. At the time, my mom was just diagnosed with cancer, and I was managing a boutique and an ice cream shop, which was really fun. It was a great, amazing experience. And just kind of taking it easy to spend a lot of time with my mom. And it wasn't until after she passed away in 2018, probably 4 or 5 months after, that the gears started shifting and my business was born.
That's incredibly quick and very amazing that through that journey you found your path.
Yeah.
And, it's bittersweet and beautiful at the same time. How did that come about?
I think in the grieving months after she had passed, I really felt this need to direct my energy towards something that was really meaningful to me. And I think in a way to honor my mom, it felt really good for me to embody all of her best characteristics. And to do something really positive and something that I was passionate about just felt really good. You know, like I just wanted to make her proud.
Oh, I'm sure she's proud of you.
Thank you. And so that was kind of like the evolution of needing to have this positive focus, wanting to embody her best characteristics, which really have blossomed through owning my own business. And like, I'm so grateful for her to have provided me with that amazing example of just a really, really cool person.
She actually had a rustic furniture design business or something online. I saw that.
Yeah, she had an online furniture store for quite a few years.
Oh, wow.
And was also an event coordinator. So kind of the mix of all the things. Her and I are very aligned in our personalities and our strengths. So, yeah, it's all kind of a little bit serendipitous and funny how it all worked out.
Well, and I know because I had read up on you and I did my research, and that what you did after your mom passed, you had a little apartment, and that you spent a lot of time in your apartment rearranging things and creating a healing space.
It was an interesting phase of my life, right? Like losing a parent at a young age, trying to cope with not only the loss of that loved one, but also just grieving that they had to suffer it all. And I really was like kind of walking in a blur for quite a few months and just very much so in a haze and trying to just get through the day-to-day things. But having this intentional space, like it just felt so good for me to love on my little apartment at that time. And it was like hand painting my dining room chairs. And I did some thrift shopping, which my mom loved thrift shopping. And I really felt her presence when I was out just exploring and being creative. I painted these really minimal, like simplistic pieces with soothing colors that I just, it simplified, you know? And then when I would come home, I felt secure. I felt warm and safe. I just felt like wrapped in a hug, which was really what I needed at that time. And going through that experience has really like opened my eyes up to, oh my gosh, interior design is so much more than just pretty things in a space.
I had a woman that I interviewed a few weeks ago. I can't remember the episode, but it's Loss, Light, and Love is the title of the episode. If anybody wants to go back and look that up, I think it's episode 56 or 7. She had written a book after losing her husband to suicide. And she talked about creating a space for herself. She had actually what she called her healing chair. And it was one specific chair in her living room where it was positioned, where she could look outside, look at the trees and the birds. And she had, things that were special to her. Candles and certain books and little things to give her comfort. And she said it was just that one little place where she could really connect with her feelings and, be herself and just heal.
That's so powerful.
People don't realize how important your space is and your environment of not only it can be very healing and it can be very disruptive as well if it doesn't really resonate with what you're feeling or what you're going through at the time.
Right. It's huge.
So how do you take your clients through the experience of finding what works for them?
So it definitely starts with a lot of deep discovery with my clients and whatever room it is that we're working on, really understanding what it is that they want to feel when they walk through the door. What's the intention behind this space, and helping them to slow down and backtrack a little bit and be looking at our living rooms like, this is community. What is this? This is where your family comes together. that's powerful to when you slow down and look at the true meaning behind some of these environments. And once we've really tapped into what it is that they want out of the space, how they want to feel in it, maybe it's something that needs to improve in their lives, we can be conscious of the colors and color psychology and what we want to bring in there. Like I said, like the symbolism and any artwork that we're bringing in. Material choice, like a lot of times, at least for me, I feel really grounded from natural materials. So depending on the client, you know, what we decide to use there, it's just like all of these decisions that we're making about what we're bringing into their home are intentional. And as much as I possibly can, I'm always looking to source from local artists, local woodworkers, or at least like sustainable and environmentally conscious companies.
I love the word intention. And when you use that word, it does bring a whole different outlook on the space that you are creating, because some people might say, this is what I want. But when you put intention, and what are you really trying to create?
Right.
And looking into the mood rather than, oh, I saw this picture in a magazine and I want my living room to look like this.
Yeah.
Do you ever have clients who are a little bit resistant and say, but I want it to look like this picture in the magazine?
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of goes to the conversation of trends and you just wanting it to Instagram a certain way or whatnot, which is fine because I think there's vibes and there's essences that come from those. But I would definitely take my clients into the deeper conversation of why. Like, what are you really drawn to about this style? If we can articulate that and understand, I really do just like the minimal nature of it and just the simplicity helps me feel calm, then it's like, okay, we have a reason why we're choosing a certain style versus just, I think it, is going to Instagram nice or whatever.
Well, I love natural wood. I love antiques, and you can see I've got quite a few of them. And I got some of the antiques that I got was when my husband and I were living in Arkansas. And, it wasn't the ideal situation for me, for work and, friends I had left behind. And anytime I'd get really kind of bummed out, he would take me to this antique warehouse, up north. And as soon as I would walk into this enormous room, I mean, it was a warehouse.
Yeah.
And it was full of antique furniture that the owner had actually brought over from the UK and, Great Britain and all that stuff and had refurnished or, refurbed. And just walking in there and smelling the wood and seeing the furniture and just being able to touch it, there was something about it that was so comforting and just so uplifting. And so we came home back to Denver with a truckload of antiques when we came back. But it's just something about it. I don't know what it is, the multicolors and the grain and the feel and just something about it just really calms me and just makes me smile and sigh with like, oh, this is so gorgeous. And who had this stuff?
Right.
What was their history? What was their family like? Where did they live? And now here it's in my living room. So that to me is just amazing.
Yeah, the history of antiques, there's some really beautiful grounding energy to that it's just been through so many families, so many homes. I think and the unique nature of it. And we as humans, like, when you look at our evolution, we're meant to be in nature. We're meant to be surrounded by greenery and like the outdoors. It's just, it's innate to us. So as much as possible to provide that, especially in this like technologically heavy society that we're in, to have a space where we can really feel grounded and connected.
Yeah, there's times when I feel like things are so, I don't want to say like either mechanical, technical, industrial, clinical, there's no warmth. And I think, having the technology is just absolutely fabulous. when I'm having a good day with it.
Right.
Yeah, I have a real love-hate relationship with it. But we get so connected to the devices that we're using and to that technology that we forget about not only getting back into nature, but the human connection too. We lose that sometimes going through the computers and the cell phones and the stuff. What about the human connection and really being able to have face-to-face conversation? There's just so much more depth to it, and it's so much more rewarding.
Yeah. And that's something to be that I, want to make sure I'm intentional about in my designs as well, is that I'm providing space that welcomes just that human connection. It welcomes you to set down your phone and talk to your family and your loved ones and sit down and have a meal together.
You talked about that a little bit when growing up, the space in your dining room.
Yeah.
There was a watercolor or a oil painting?
Yeah, so my great-grandmother did the most incredible watercolor paintings.
Oh, wow.
Her color choice, they were so vibrant and just these beautiful nature scenes that fill my parents' home. They're everywhere. And that's like a really beautiful memory from childhood, and even going there today and feeling reconnected is seeing those on the wall and sitting at the dining room table, this solid wood, heavy dining room table, and feeling the breeze from our screen door in the summertime and sharing a meal with my family, like that's where the beauty is, in these small little moments that seemingly insignificant to me. Like that's what I want people to come back home to,
because that stays with you forever.
Yeah.
Obviously, because that was even before you had Bailey's dream house created or designed by the 8-year-old Bailey, which I think is so funny. That's so cute. But yeah, it's comfort. It's comfort food. That's why they call it comfort food.
Yeah.
Rather than, it breaks my heart when I see people out to dinner or, sitting there at a meal and they're all looking at their phones and they're not even talking to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, breaking that cycle, I think. And that's where I think there's another significance to interior design, and just like this amazing possibility and how it's going to progress in our world, is it's like, how can we look at the way that we're doing some everyday things and, like I said, intentionally make these shifts so that we're bettering our lives, the lives of our children, our future generations. Like, how do we want things to shift?
You said something really interesting about the color psychology. And did you take classes regarding that, or is this some study that you did on your own? Because I know how certain colors impact us.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I haven't taken any classes in color psychology. I'd love to at some point. But just reading books and researching and diving into the world as much as I can. And
essential oils and stuff, which really, I've just gotten into using them in I make my own cleaning products now.
Yeah, I love that.
It's so much fun. I always feel a little bit like the mad scientist, but it's wonderful. And the laundry detergent, the clothes come out so much clean. They're cleaner and they have like a fresher smell to them, but not a scent. They don't really have that heavy perfumed or artificial smell to it. And it's just wonderful. So I've been using a lot of essential oils, and it's just amazing how the peppermint spray and you just feel invigorated. The lavender calms you down. So there are so many things that you can do to help your environment not only be calming, nurturing, healing, but actually healthier.
Yeah, I love that. And to engage all your senses in a space. I definitely try as much as possible to like get that conversation going with chemicals, like in cleaning products and whatnot too, because that's that's home too. That's holistic wellness of our
Right.
homes. And sometimes, you can look at the research of some of our everyday most common cleaners, and it's heartbreaking
Pretty scary,
that
huh?
we're like surrounding our, especially like in families with young children, and to be breathing that in or eating something off the counter that just was wiped down with these horrible chemicals.
Neurotoxins.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So as much as, we can be conscious of that, and then that goes to the chemicals that can be in some really cheaply made furniture as well. Like off-gassing is a serious issue where things are being shipped, really cheap furniture is being shipped, and when it's unpackaged, it's literally off-gassing chemicals that we're breathing in. And, most people probably aren't even aware of that, or putting cheap furniture into a nursery and having a newborn in there. Like, and that's, I don't want to be like spreading fear, but I think it's really important that we're having these conversations and we're being aware of what we're surrounding our families with.
I don't think it's fear-mongering at all. I think it's education, because people aren't aware. And I wasn't aware until I started doing a lot of digging. And through my work that I'm doing with the podcast, I've interviewed a lot of people and learned a lot, which prompted me to do more research on my own. So I didn't realize some of the things that were in some of these products. And even with, like you said, the off-gassing. I mean, there's been times before where I would like open up a package, or I walk into a store and it's like, whoa, something is really wrong here. You could just actually smell it. I'm really sensitive to, I like perfume, but chemical scents and chemical smells, I'm really sensitive to. And I could just, feel like my lungs want to just shut down.
Yeah.
So how can people learn a little bit more about the furniture that they're buying, or the products that they're buying, and the off-gassing?
Yeah. I think just doing the research on the companies that you're purchasing from, it's tricky because a lot of times that information isn't out there, but I think a safe bet is if the information is out there about how they are being sustainable and like limiting their toxins as much as possible, then those are always the companies to lean towards, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. If
there's no information, it's probably a bad sign.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. And then I love, like I said, being able to purchase locally and speak directly with the makers about what they're using.
I love that, because I love buying local, and not just buying local, but you're supporting small businesses.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just absolutely a wonderful practice. And I know that you said, you have a community, a vibrant community of these artists and woodworkers and designers that you've managed to connect with and to become a part of.
Yeah. There's so much talent. Oh my gosh. Denver in particular has an amazing community of talented artisans. And it's been really rewarding to connect with all of those people. And, that my love for that really started back when I managed the little mom and pop ice cream parlor and boutique.
Ice cream and boutique. I love it.
It's so cute. And it was like, it's all about community. I mean, that goes back to just some of these innate human things that we need. We need each other. And to support locally versus, and be able to say, like, that's my neighbor down the street. That's his painting in our living room. And like, it really just like makes us feel connected versus just purchasing from across the world and not having any really tie to it.
No connection. So I'm wondering, I know that there are people who are going to be listening to this podcast and they're thinking, I'm an artisan, I'm a woodworker, I'm local. Can people connect with you?
Absolutely. I welcome that. I would love to hear from you. My website is BaileyCatherineInteriors.com and all my contact information is on there. So Instagram, Facebook. I'm out there, so I'd love to hear from you.
And it is a beautiful website.
Thank you.
And you've got some wonderful images. And is there anything else that you want to share with us today?
I feel like I was able to go pretty deep into what Bailey Katherine Interiors is all about. I so appreciate you holding this space for me.
Well, I just want to go another step further because I saw you about a year ago. I didn't meet you, but it was a large networking event.
Oh,
and you were being honored or celebrated in some way. So if you could tell us a little bit about that, because I was very impressed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, eWomen Network. We were both at the Denver chapter,
but you were on stage and I was in the audience.
And I was honored with a Emerging Leader Award, which was such a beautiful honor. And I'm so grateful for the community that has come out of that experience. And
you even got to go to the national convention, is that true?
Yeah, I got to go to Texas and do the whole convention and meet the other emerging leaders from all the different states, because it's a national program, eWomen. And just to see what all these young entrepreneurs are doing, these young women entrepreneurs, and the change that they're making really was it was inspiring. And it was just invigorating for me to know that we got this as a generation, like we got this, and some really beautiful things are happening.
I was so impressed and so blown away because that wasn't the mindset when I was your age. You got your education, you got your job, and you worked for somebody else. And the thought of going out and becoming an entrepreneur wasn't even considered. I mean, why would anybody do that? It was so risky. And
there's days I think that.
Well, we all still do. But for you to just go out and do it and, step out in faith like that. And then with this incredible community of other young women, I think is just so amazing. It gives me hope for the future.
Yeah.
So, in my golden years, it's like, I have that younger generation to say, look at them. They're really, they're making it happen.
Yeah.
So once again, just tell us how people can get a hold of you.
So my website is Bailey Katherine, and Katherine is Katherine, interiors.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Bailey Katherine Interiors.
Well, I have to tell you, I am so grateful that you came today to share your story. And you're such a beautiful young woman, and I'm so just blown away by everything you're doing. And of all of my belts, the one that I am the most proud of is the white belt, because that's when you step out into faith, you find the courage to create a new life for yourself, to start something new, no matter how scary it is. So, Bailey,
thank you.
There is your white belt.
That is so sweet. I love it.
Oh, I'm glad. So you can put that in Bailey's dream house.
Yes.
So you're a ninja girlfriend.
Thank you so much.
You got it. You got the warrior spirit.
Appreciate you.
So everybody, connect with Bailey. Check out her website. She is an amazing young lady. Are you available to do like talks or workshops, or if anybody wants consultation?
Absolutely. All of the above. I am recently getting into more of the workshop and speaking engagement world. And so if you have any opportunities like that, I'd love to hear about it.
Okay, everybody, connect with Bailey, and thank you so much for listening. And remember to take the time to slow down, create a space for yourself, really connect with what you're feeling, and take it from there and put down the technology every now and again and get back to nature, because that is the way of the FemiNinja. And that's a wrap on another episode of the FemiNinja Project. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, be safe, be strong, and until next time, bye now.